Hello again and welcome to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by upshiftstore.co.uk and digitalmotorsports.com. So this is it, race 2 from Mount Panorama. As you can see, it's the evening race, so it's going to be interesting out there in the dark. Let's go and have a look at the grid. So in pole position, we've got Thomas, we've got Unforgiven in second, Pablo in third, King Monster in fourth, Molson in fifth, Rodders in sixth, Paul in seventh and Vexman in eighth. King Monster has come in as a late substitute for Dean, who was in race 1. Fortunately, he couldn't make this second race, so King Monster has helped us out and come in as a substitute for him, as I say, racing super softs along with Pablo. They're the only two, everyone else with the medium tyres. This is the race where everyone's got to run at least 10 minutes of medium, so everyone else opting to do that for this first stint. So let's go straight to the race, shall we? Revs are up. Should be off any second. And away we go. Oh, and King Monster's always had an issue on the line, and Molson and Vex has got tangled up in that, and yeah, I'm not too sure what the issue is. It's a mechanical failure somewhere along the line. He just can't get the car started. Vexman and Molson both tagged him, I believe, so they're at the back of this group now. The group just waiting for them, as it's we're not sure what's happening with King Monster. I think it was just we don't know if he's going to get going or not. Will he be cleared in time on the track? Can the marshals come out and get rid of him in time? We'll see. The race goes on though, so green flags are waving. The race carries on. So Pablo takes up the lead up in front as they head up to this top of the hill to the left-hander. And Pablo now scrapes along the right side of his car, right the way along the top there. I don't know. Rodders seemed to be just waiting for him, so maybe Rodders just tapped him a bit. I'm not sure because he didn't pass him, so I can only think that he tapped him. That was good awareness there. So Pablo remains in first, so Rodders in second, closely followed by Unforgiven. So Unforgiven putting the pressure on now with Paul in fourth. Oh, and I think Rodders might have just picked up the dust there. I think it was Rodders as they come through this tricky little S's here at the top of the mountain. Vex there with a small penalty. Oh, and gets it all a bit crossed up through there, and yeah, he's got a small penalty he's got to get rid of now. Got a little bit crossed up there and a little bit out of control, but remains in fifth. Closely followed by Molson, then Thomas in seventh. As they head now along the Conrod Straight. And Vex gets rid of his penalty. Just goes off to the left. So he goes back down to seventh with Thomas and Molson going through now. So Thomas really up the back of Molson. Will he get him down here? He'll have a look, that's for sure. Will he? Oh, some more dust being kicked up. Not sure who that was. Must have been Unforgiven because he's dropping back. So Unforgiven through the dirt and dust. So Unforgiven made a small error there. Goes back to sixth. And also gets a penalty for his troubles too. So he'll have to get rid of that, which he does. Slows down before the line. So Vexman in seventh. It's going to be on the back of Unforgiven now. Head up for another lap around the left-hander and up the long straight now. So Vex right on the back of Unforgiven. And this track's, it's tricky enough in the daylight, but in the evening, in the pitch black, it's quite a different proposition, which you have to get your head round. Still a great track, but difficult at the best of times. So Vex still chasing down Unforgiven. Let's have a quick look up top. So Rodders now takes up the lead, and he's pulling up a nice lead now. Is Rodders in front. Pablo in second, being chased down by Paul in third. Little scrape of the wall by Pablo, so Paul in third now, trying to chase him down. That will get him a little bit nearer, and Pablo all over the grass and the dust, and someone else kicking up the dust too. I think it might be Molson. So Paul now chasing down Pablo. Nice and clean through there. Stick with this a second, see if Paul can get him down here as they come round the left-hander. No, not close enough. So now down the Conrod Straight again. Flat out now. Up into sixth gear. By the time you hit the end of this. So Molson chasing down Paul in 4th. Thomas behind him in 5th, Unforgiven in 6th, Vexman still in 7th. And Molson right up the back of Paul now, and I think that was Pablo again kicking up some more dust. It's already a really close battle. Only 2 laps in, just about to start the 3rd lap. Again, a 30-minute race. There will be a pit stop required. So it's just when these guys decide they want to come in, you're going to see quite a lot of dirt and dust being kicked up, because, as I say, it's hard enough to race around here in the daytime, but when you're at night, it's pretty tricky just to keep your 4 wheels on the track. Was that a lock-up? Seemed to be a lock-up by someone there, I'm not sure. It's squiggly through there for Molson, but right up the back of Paul, and Thomas right up the back of Molson. So, and Molson had a look around the outside. He was never going to go around there. Or did he just run it wide? He might have just run it wide. But he's really putting the pressure on now to Paul. Don't know whether Paul's fuel saving or not. Again, early in the race, I think he did it in race 1, and looks like he might be fuel saving again here in race 2. Early doors. Oh, and again, was that? I'm not sure who that was. Was that Pablo again kicking up the dirt? But still keeping it there in 2nd. So fair play to him. Let's go back to the battle quickly, because this is where the battle is. We've got 3 cars in this. Paul, Molson and Thomas closely chasing down. Unforgiven still in 6th, and Vexman in 7th still. Can Thomas now hitch himself on the back now? Molson having a look. In fact, he did get past Paul. Goes round the outside of Paul. Great move. So Molson gets Paul down the straight, gets himself into 3rd. I think Paul must be fuel saving, because he's dropped a couple of places here, and I don't think there's any other explanation really other than that. I think there's an issue with the car. Looks to be going okay. So Molson now has got his eyes set firmly on Pablo in 2nd place. With Rodders still in 1st. Pulling away actually in 1st, I believe, Rodders. Yeah, looks like Rodders got a comfortable lead up there, up top. I don't think he's fuel saving, that's for sure, not yet anyway. Absolutely flying through there. Neat as you like. And there's your gap. Pretty much the whole length of that hill section. Clean through there. Pablo in 2nd, still. Still trying to chase down Rodders, but can't get anywhere near him yet. Molson being chased down by Thomas, and Thomas has actually got past Paul, so Paul drops down to another place, down to 5th. Thomas gets up into 4th. So I think he definitely is fuel saving Paul, without a doubt. Now look at Thomas now. Absolutely hounding Molson. Stick with this, because this is where the battle is. Right over now, Thomas going to have a look. Molson kind of in the centre of the track now. Thomas is having a look, left, right. Is he going to go up the right hand side? Looks like he is. Looks like he's got him. So come through the kink. No, you don't want to be going too aside through there, trust me. And all the time they are catching Pablo. And Molson runs a bit wide, so he's out on the dirt. That will give Thomas a place, so he does. Thomas gets through in 3rd, Molson back down to 4th, and Paul now right on the back of Molson after that mistake. So Paul now having a look at Molson's right up the back of him. Thomas through to 3rd. Unforgiven still in 6th. Vexman still in 7th. And again, I think that was Paul actually made a thought he made a mistake there. Come out of there, it's a little, just lost the back end a little bit, so just gets him away, gets him off the back of Molson for the time being. But now they caught up with Thomas again, so Molson putting the pressure back onto Thomas. So we've got 3 cars here, or 4 if you include Pablo, I suppose. All looking at 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place. Oh, and Thomas getting out of shape a bit there. Controls it well though. Oh, and again gets his back wheels on the dirt, and again rubs the wall. So Thomas getting a little bit scruffy there. It's probably the pressure from Molson that Molson's putting on, and Paul right up the back of Molson now, literally pushing him along. Through the S's here, don't know if we're pushing him through there, so yeah, nice and clean through there. Pablo again in the dirt, I believe, so Thomas is right up the back of Pablo now. What a race this is. Absolutely superb. 10 minutes in and Thomas again whacks that wall. Seems to be okay at the moment, just seems to be rubbing them and carrying on, no real damage to the car. So 4 cars now, completely in a line coming down the Conrod straight. Thomas pulls out, he does go through there, and I think Molson had a look as well. Is Molson going to go around the outside? Thomas definitely gets through the second, Molson a little bit on the dirt. And Paul having a bit of it, and Paul's all over the dirt and he's out of control. He's badly out of control there, but gets himself into 5th still. I don't know quite how and he does get down the inside of Molson. That was fair. I don't know whether he was a little bit late on the brakes, could have been a whole lot worse. But all held it well. I think it looked a little bit late, but I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that he was out of control, and I think he might have just lost his bearings a little bit on the track, and before we knew it, he was up the inside of Molson, but they did well, they didn't clash. So now Molson chasing down Pablo now, so Thomas is away in 2nd, going away from Pablo, so Molson chasing him. Paul chasing Molson, Unforgiven right behind him in 6th. Feck's not far behind as well in 7th, so all of them, with the exception of Rodders, who's clearing off in front, all these 7 or 6 I should say, are scrapping like hell at the back here. Unforgiven, was that just in the dirt, or was that Molson? I think it might be Molson actually. So come through the S's. Nice and clean through there. So still as they were, Molson. Now Paul on the back of Pablo. Can Paul get Pablo down here? He's going to get right on his slip. Try and get into his slip and go past him. He's definitely in the slip. He's going to pull out now, I'd imagine, to the right hand side. He does. Now neck and neck through the kink, goes through there. Great pass from Paul now. Pablo, is he going to retaliate? He isn't, no, he's too far back. That's a good pass from Paul actually. Absolutely floored it through there and got past Pablo on the inside. Pablo's not giving up. Thomas clearing off in 2nd, as you can see. Molson and Unforgiven as well, so... And actually Vex has gone into the pit, so Vex has had his 10 minutes. Of course, he's gone past that now, so they can decide if they want to change that. So he's come in for his stop. So it's going to keep him at the back, obviously, so it'll be interesting to see where this will bring him once the others go in, a bit later on. Let's go back to the action now. So Unforgiven now. Just dropped off these few in front of him, so let's have a look. So yeah, we've still got this 3-car battle. So Molson in 5th, Paul in 4th, Pablo still in 3rd. Pablo doing well. Pablo back out on the scratch that wall again around that left-hander. Done that a couple of times, and that was that Molson. He's hit the wall too, so there's a little bit of wall rubbing on this race. Mind you, he's made it medium times as well, and caught an Unforgiven, hit that wall really hard. I think these tyres are beginning to, I think they've had enough actually. I think you're going to see the others coming in for a stop very soon to get these mediums off and get into them super softs on. So Paul's got past Pablo, and that's Molson chasing down Pablo in fifth. I think he'll get him down here. If he can get into his slip, he'll get him. Is he close enough? I don't think he's going to get there by the time they hit the kink. Well, he has got there, but a bit too late. He's not going to get in there unless he gets in hard on the brakes here. He has looked for it. He does look for it, but no. Thought better of it. Gets back in behind him in fifth. So Pablo again out in the dirt. That's going to help Molson. It has helped Molson. Molson's got the run on him on the outside, and Unforgiven having a look on the inside. So Molson's not going to go around there, is he? He didn't. No. And actually, the Unforgiven's come in to the pit. So Unforgiven's had enough of those mediums. He's going to change. And after that big hit on the wall, I think made up his mind that it's time to change. So let's have a quick look and see where he comes out. In conjunction with Vexman, who's in seventh. I think he's still going to be well ahead of him. Vexman's just coming down to the last corner now. Just refueling, so he's got his super softs on now as the Unforgiven. Vexman just coming round the last corner, coming along the start or finish. So yeah, he's going to be out in front of him. Not going to be that far ahead, but yeah, still a comfortable enough gap. There's the gap you can see, so Unforgiven with the Vex behind him in seventh still. So Pablo now is all over, and he's just come to him. He's hitting the wall again, and I think he's had enough. In fact, wasn't he one of the ones on the super softs? So he's still to take his mediums, I think. So he might struggle when the mediums are on. Then if he's struggling to keep the car on track in the super softs, what's it going to be like with the mediums? But it might just be he's never really had a lot of time on this track, as it is a tough track to get your head around if you haven't had a lot of practice on it, that's for sure. So it might just be a bit of a learning curve for him. Who knows? Anyway, so Molson in fourth. Dropping back a bit now with Paul in third, so it looks like Thomas actually is catching Rodders. Let's have a look. So Thomas in second with and Rodders over the grass, and just as I get to him, that means Thomas has taken up the lead. So Rodders slowed down and he's gone into the pits actually. So Rodders is in. Thomas takes up the lead. After that little excursion across the grass, Rodders thought it's time to change. So Thomas now takes up the lead. Winner of race one, remember. And there's three cars actually, so we got Rodders in, Molson in, and Paul's coming as well. So three cars have decided to come off of those mediums. It's time. Let's have a look. Rodders in first, so let's have a quick look and see where they come out. With Unforgiven and Vex just coming down to the last corner now. Paul in as well, so you've got three cars. All in. All refueling. Now they're all coming around the last corner, coming along the start and finish now, so I think Paul has actually come out ahead of Rodders, so Paul has come out ahead of Rodders into second. So Paul into second now, Rodders close behind in third. Should see him to the end now, and Unforgiven's got himself up in the fourth with Vex into fifth, so Molson's dropped down to sixth after his stop, with Pablo in seventh. So Molson now looking at Vexman. Of course, Molson with the cleaner, fresher tyres. Should have a little bit more pace in that car now. Vexman's had a few laps on his, so they'll be sort of wearing a little bit. Certainly they're not as new as Molson, so he should have a little bit more pace. Stick with this battle for the time being. Molson. He's having a look now. He's not going to get him down there, is he? No. Through the top of the mountain, through the S's. Yeah, clean through there. Vex with a little tap of the wall, but no biggie there. So Molson still sticks behind him. And the left-hander now. Flat out down the straight. Now Thomas is in, so let's see. Thomas has come in. Let's see where he comes out. Remember, he's way ahead of these other lot, but they are about to come down to the last corner, so I'm not sure he's going to come out in front, you know. He might have timed it okay, depends, I suppose, how much fuel he's going to put in, because they are now coming past the start and finish. In fact, Paul's gone into the lead now, just passes him and Rodders as well, so Thomas has dropped down to third. Thomas is coming out now. Where does he come out? Oh, and he comes out side by side, and who's he? He is side by side with Paul, but Paul makes it. I think Paul just gets him, so Paul takes up the lead. Thomas just slots in behind him, so Paul in first now with Thomas. Oh, Thomas having a look, got a good drive out there. He's going to be on the inside now for this right-hander, and I think Thomas is going to get there, is he? He does. Yeah, good move. Good pass. Nice and clean. Got these two cars now, so first and second. Oh, and a bit of a squiggle for Thomas, but keeps it there. Gives Paul a little bit of incentive to get right up behind him, which he is. Absolutely. Oh, a little dab of the brakes from Paul, because he's a lot more, a bit quicker through that left-hander, and he was going to hit the back of him if he didn't brake, so got some pace in that car, but remember, they both got fresh tyres on. Right now, as they head down the straight, can Paul get into Thomas's slip? Try and get himself back into first place. He's certainly in his slip now. I think he's going to get him right on where the kink is, and I don't think he's going to go past him there. No, not this time. Dives out, has a look. No. Thought about it, but keeps it in second, so good driving for them too. Let's have a quick look at the behind. So you've got Rodders in third. Unforgiven in fourth. Vex in seven, being chased down by Molson again, so there's these two are at it again. These haven't stopped battling, have they? All the way through pretty much has been these two. Been stuck together. So now I think that's everybody. I think everybody's pitted now, so basically this is it till the end. We've got what, probably 10 minutes left of the race, maybe a little bit less than that. So it's just who can. Oh, and a little nudge from Vex. He sort of nudged Molson. It was a bit sort of side by side. Wasn't really intentional, I think. Not sure if I'm not really sure there. He just nudged him, knocked him onto the grass on Molson. Back to sixth now, and Vex is getting away in fifth. And again, Vex on the grass a little bit, kicks up the dust. So Pablo back down in seventh. Hasn't really got the pace to keep up with these guys at the moment. Let's have a look at it back up front again. So Paul, Thomas, sorry, getting away from Paul now. So just pulling away, a little gap emerging between these two. Paul's quick through there though, gets right back on the back of Thomas. But then Thomas seems to have a lot more pace along the straight sections. Paul's pretty good through the twisty stuff. Unforgiven hasn't given up on it. Rodders hasn't given up on this either. So Rodders got both cars in his sights. So he hasn't given up for a top two spot either. But Unforgiven not far behind as well. So Unforgiven in fourth. Trying to chase down Rodders in third now. Vexman still in fifth with Molson. He's caught back up actually, so Molson caught back up with Vex now. He's still in sixth, but certainly caught him back up. With Pablo still some way behind. I think he's struggling tonight, is Pablo, on this track. the fact that, you know, it is at night race. Oh, and there's a lot of dust being kicked up there. I'm not too sure, is that Unforgiven kicking it up? Must have been, because he was the car in front of these two, so it had to be. But it hasn't put him off. He's going to carry on going, and Molson's certainly looking to get into Vex's slip here, but he's not going to take him down. He's too far back, but he's certainly get himself right up behind him. There you go, he is right there now, so it goes a little bit wide, but keeps it there. Didn't scrape the wall, and actually Thomas has dropped back, so Thomas has gone back to 6th, and he was out in the lead. I think Thomas has mucked up his fuel. Either that or he mucked up on his tyres, I'm not sure. I think he might have actually mucked up on his tyres, so he's had to go in for a second pit, which has obviously dropped him now down to 6th. So he's made a mistake, a bit of an error there from Thomas. Very unlike him. I think he got a little bit confused with the tyre compounds, and so he had to go in and change. So that was an unforeseen stop that shouldn't really have happened, but nevertheless it has. Drops him back down to 6th, so that means Paul takes up the running in first, but look at the pressure now that Rodders is putting up on him now. He's right up the behind him, so Rodders having a look to see if he can take up the lead. Right up behind Paul. So come to the last 5-6 minutes of this race now, so we're in the closing stages of it. What a great race it's been too. Even with just 8 cars, see how much fun you can have out here. Absolutely superb. So Paul, another lap ticked off as we start lap 13. So Paul holding off Rodders at the time being. So that means Unforgiven's up to 3rd, Vex into 4th, Molson into 5th. Now I'll stick with this because Rodders looks to be having a look at Paul. Goes on the outside, does Rodders. Now is he going to go around the outside? Paul's obviously got the inside line. No, he does get there, does he? Does he? He does. Great move from Rodders. Just powered it round the outside of Paul, just carried it going. And it was almost like rails round there as he ran around the outside of Paul. Great driving. So Rodders takes up the lead now. So is Rodders on for a victory in the second race? Not if Paul's got anything to say about it. Paul is right up him, pushing him along, literally. I am sticking with this because this does look to be the closest battle on track at the moment. Yeah, through there, pretty clean. Oh, and Rodders picks up a penalty. He just cut too much of that chicane and sort of almost straight lined it and picked up a 1 second penalty, so he's going to have to get rid of that. That's going to allow Paul the chance to get past and get himself into 1st. And he does, just pulls over. So Paul takes up the lead now. Rodders are slotting behind him, so Paul now takes up the lead. So maybe it's Paul's victory here tonight for the second race, because he's got quite a nice little gap now, and there's not long left. So can he get the victory? Can he finish the race off? No reason why he shouldn't. He's, as I say, for the gap he's got on Rodders now, with only a few minutes left, really should be finishing that off. So Unforgiven now as well in 3rd. He's going to have a look, get himself on the podium. Vex in 4th, still being chased down by Molson, and Thomas is actually caught up with Molson. So Thomas now having a look. So Thomas going to have a look at Molson up here on this first left-hander. No, not quite. No, he'll get him along here, I'm sure he will. Molson goes a little bit wide, so does Vex. So that's going to give a bit of momentum to Thomas. Goes up the outside of Molson and also gets in the slip of Vex. Molson's not giving up though, and why should he? Now, can Thomas do the Rodders move around the outside? He does. What a great move that was too. Oh, has he gone too run? Has he run too wide? No, he hasn't. Great move. Almost identical to Rodders, probably a little bit quicker, but still identical. Great move around the outside. So Molson will stick with him though. Go back to the front quickly. So Paul still out in front with Rodders in 2nd. Yeah, So not much change there. Unforgiven in third. Vex in fourth, with Thomas chasing down Vex now, and Molson not giving up also. Pablo still in seventh, but a long way back, Pablo. Now, was that a penalty for Vexman? Because that looked like he straight lined that. No, must have just been the camera angle and the dust that he kicked up. Looked like he straight lined it a little bit, a bit like what Rod has done, but no. Must have been all okay and legal. So now Thomas is getting away from Molson and is putting the pressure firmly on Vexman now. He wants the fourth place, does Thomas. Glowing brake discs. Oh, and a little nudge, but that's fine. Oh, Vexman slowed down. And why is Vexman slowed down now? Has Vexman got a problem? He must have a problem because he can pass it as well. And Rodders are taking out the lead, so Rodders actually got past Paul in the end. And I think, I'm not sure, I think Paul might have run out of fuel before the end, along with Vexman as well. Must have run out of fuel right at the end of the race. So everyone else is finished. Just Rodders now, who's going to get victory here. He's got the entire lap to do basically on his own because everyone else has finished. So he can do what he likes out there, really. Got absolutely no pressure in front or behind. So just to run through the finishing position. So obviously Rodders is going to come in first. Paul in second. So I think that's 2 seconds for Paul this evening. So good outing for him tonight. Unforgiven in third. Good third place for Unforgiven. Thomas up to fourth after that pit mistake, but gets himself up to fourth. So that's well done for Thomas. Molson in fifth. Obviously got past Vexman after Vex's fuel error, the same as Paul, but gets into sixth. And then Pablo at the back just couldn't really get the grips with it tonight, Pablo, but did well. And actually King Monster, who started it, he didn't make the race at all. They just, after his start, where he didn't get going, the mechanical failure with the car obviously cleared him off the grid, and the race went on, but he couldn't participate any further. So only 7 cars by the time this race finishes. So well done to Rodders anyways. He comes around the last bend and over the line. Congratulations, Rodders, what a win. And I'll see you again next time for round 3. Please join me then.